I have had the incredible privilege of having amazing role models and mentors. And sometimes you have role models that, appear in your life. And, it's only later that you look back and a bell goes off and you say, that person was instrumental. And I'll never forget the moment when Ella Grasso, who was governor in the late 1970s, strode into Jorgensen Auditorium and started to talk to us about what she did as governor and what she did as a public servant and how she helped people every day in big ways and in small ways. But Ella Grasso inspired me to go into politics and public service. And when I was in college, I wrote my senior paper, which later became a book, about her life. So many people around Connecticut told me that they were inspired to go into politics or public service by her. When I announced my candidacy for Secretary of the State, I made that announcement under Ella Grasso's statue, which is on the face of the state capitol. And I'm going to show you a picture of my mom, who was also a trailblazer. She was the first woman tenured professor at the University of Connecticut School of Law. And she came to that role in a very unusual way, because when she graduated from law school in the early 1950s, and you couldn't get a job because they just wouldn't hire women lawyers. Sandra Day O'Connor, when she graduated from law school, even though she was at the top of her class, she had to work as a legal secretary until people figured out that she was a brilliant lawyer. So my mother couldn't get a job at a law firm, so she worked as an assistant prosecutor. And then the law school, UConn Law School, called her one day and said, hey, we need to hire a law librarian, and we need to hire someone to teach our law students how to write legal briefs, memoranda. That started her on her dual career of being the law librarian at the University of Connecticut, but also being a professor. She taught children and family law. She taught gender discrimination. She was the author of many books. And what she did was something that was really important. She mentored women law students and women lawyers. She was very active and a leader in the Connecticut Bar Association. And she took a very special interest in helping other women to be lawyers and to be successful in the legal field. One of her dear friends came to be Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She was at the top of her class, but she was Jewish and pregnant when she graduated from law school, and no one would hire her despite the fact that she had superlative academic credentials. So she started down the same path as my mom of teaching law. And I remember that my mother predicted when I was in college that Ruth Bader Ginsburg would be appointed to the Supreme Court, because as a law professor, she helped work on and argued before the Supreme Court more than a dozen cases to help expand the rights of women, including the right of a married woman who worked to have a credit card in her own name. If you can imagine this, that this was something that women didn't have until the 1980s. It's just remarkable, and it was work that she did to help bring more equity to women in America.